My name is Jonathan Harris, and this is Whodunnit. Whodunnit is a murder mystery game show where you at home play alongside our contestant to try and catch a killer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight's contestant, Freya Patton. Hi, Freya, it's good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
You happy to be here?
Yes, very much so.
Perfect. Well, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, my name's Freya Patton. I'm an addict when it comes to anything criminal related. I love Criminal Minds and I can quote Law and Order.
Well, I guess it goes without saying you're excited to be here today.
Yes.
All right, well, we have one victim, we have 3 suspects, a load of evidence, but only one question. Whodunnit? You ready to go?
Definitely.
Perfect, let's go. Last night, the body of our victim, Leah Gray, was found by her landlord. Evidence indicates that the attack took place in her kitchen shortly after she arrived home. The killer attacked her from behind and dragged her backwards. She struggled, but in the end was knocked out. While she was unconscious, the killer took a knife and cut open her forearm and let her bleed to death. We have 3 suspects in custody, Freya, each with their own motives and none with an alibi. We have her 2 siblings, Brandon Gray and her foster sister, Sarah, and the 3rd suspect is her husband and employer, Heath Mason. We've interviewed all 3 suspects separately. One of them killed our victim. It's up to you to piece together the evidence and come up with a verdict. So you're about to see Brandon Gray's interrogation, but before you do, you should read this. It's a letter from Brandon Gray, from Heath to his wife, Leah. It's about a recent promotion, and it may have some stuff that may be relevant to the case.
Okay, well, it says, Dear Leah, by now you have already received an official letter offering you the position of Vice President at Mason Corporations. I congratulate you. It is a pity that it took several days of bargaining with Human Resources before I could get the address of your new home to send you this letter. But the time spent doing so was worth it, more than worth it. I'll be honest with you now, I know you still love me. I also know that you feel divorcing me is the only way to distance yourself from me, but I will not sign those papers. Do not involve the courts. End this on your terms. End them on your terms, or I will end them on mine. I do not wish to sour this occasion with details of our disagreements, and so again, I congratulate you on receiving the promotion. Though I'm sure we both know that Brendan never had a chance. He's a good kid, he looks up to you, he loves you. In truth, however, I can't see him progressing much further, but I'm sure he'll make a fine assistant for me. He already does whatever I ask. Come home, Leah. Come back while I'm still giving you the chance. Forever and always, your husband, Heath Mason.
So Freya, any thoughts on Heath or his relationship with Leah?
Well, just from this letter alone, he seems kind of bitter at the fact that she wants to divorce him, and he also is a little bit threatening in the way that he words some of the things that he's saying, like come back while I'm still giving you the chance, and end this on your own terms. But he still seems to really love her because he says that the time spent looking for her address was worth it. So I don't know. What
about Brandon? He is mentioned in there. Do you think he could have something to do with it?
I definitely do. It depends on what kind of character he is, but he could be jealous over the fact that he was never really in the running to get that promotion.
Well, maybe his interview will have give you a better idea. Let's see what happens.
State your name for the record, please.
Brandon Gray.
And sign this. All right, Brandon, you want to tell me what's going on here?
Oh, besides someone taking a knife and butchering my sister with it?
Besides that.
It's ridiculous. I don't have time for this, mate. Sorry.
Sit down.
I don't know what you want from me, man.
I'll tell you what I want.
What?
Your sister has just been butchered, and what I want to know is why you don't seem to give a shit. You and Leah were going for company vice president. Your boss, Heath Mason, said Leah destroyed you. No competition.
Heath said that.
What? She's divorcing the guy and still gets the job. She tells everyone you've been messing up. And what? You decide to mess her up.
Oh, no. Look. Leah, right? Leah was a shark. I get that. But to kill my sister for a job, no. No, not for a fucking job. Tell you what, if you're looking for a killer, you should talk to Sarah.
Sarah, your foster sister.
So you're looking for motive, yeah? I'll give you a bit of motive. Me and Leah, right? We did things, you know? We got up off our asses and we made something of ourselves. Sarah, on the other hand, if she wasn't out riding half the fucking town, she'd be off her head on fucking pills or whatever they do be doing nowadays. If anyone wanted Leah dead, it would be Sarah.
Well, Freya, do you think you've already found your killer?
I don't know, but I definitely think so. He's really not so much defensive, but he pushes all blame towards his sister. So there could be a funny relationship there. He also doesn't seem upset at the least that his sister is dead, and he only has bad things to say about her. And the only time where he kind of paused was when Heath was mentioned, and it was kind of like, oh, Heath said something bad about me. But that's the only time he kind of broke his facade, I guess.
Do you think losing out on a promotion could be enough to be a motive?
No, that's the thing. But maybe he really was very jealous of his sister, so who knows?
You did, as you noticed, you did make interesting points about Sarah. Does that change anywhere you lean on making a verdict?
I'm not entirely sure, but his sister definitely seems to have a bit of motive there. She could also be jealous of her sister and her sister's success.
Now, after seeing the interrogation and reading the letter, do you think any less of Heath?
A little bit, but no, not so much, because he seems like he really does love his wife.
Right, well, let's move on to our next piece of evidence. We found Leah's diary. The last entry was on March 28th, which was the day before she was murdered. Why don't you read it out loud there first?
Okay, well, it says, "Dear Diary, I saw Sarah today, the first time in years. The first time since my wedding night when I caught her in my hotel room with Heath. She seems better. Well, maybe not better, but not any worse either. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think about a lot of things anymore. I'm vice president of a multinational corporation, but I'm still stuck living in this dump. Heath won't let me divorce him. He just cheats on me. And maybe I could deal with that if it was just some random girl from the office. But it's not a random girl. It's family. They're both betraying me, both trying to keep it a secret. To top it all off, I come home and find the lock on the main door has been smashed open. Great. I'm going to bed. Leah."
Well, it seems like everybody might have a motive. Does that change anything for you?
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but with this love affair between her sister and her husband, that is serious motive, if ever I've seen motive. So yeah, it does kind of.
Well, let's take a look at Heath's interview. Maybe it'll help shed some light on things.
Who killed Leah? Fuck if I know.
She was your wife. You don't seem to care much that she's dead.
Look, we were in the process of getting a divorce.
No. It's not quite true though, is it? She wanted a divorce, right? But you wouldn't sign the papers. Refused to?
So what if I didn't? Look, mate, I've said everything I've come here to say. I've got nothing else for you.
Co-workers overheard you arguing with her in your office the night before she died. You want to tell me a bit more about that, mate?
Fine, look. I'd found out recently that she'd been cheating, okay? And
No. Your walls must be quite thin, Heath. Your assistant heard quite a bit. Something about you trying it on with employees and you playing mind games with her brother.
Fine, you're right, okay? You want me to say it? I'm glad she's dead, okay? I'm glad she's gone. This is very convenient for me. If we'd split, she would have had her hands in my pockets for years. This is a good solution.
You're trying to tell me this is all coincidence?
I'm trying to tell you that as much as I wanted this, I didn't kill my wife.
I don't believe you.
Doesn't matter. I didn't do it.
What do you think, Freya? Guilty? Innocent?
I don't know, but my list of suspects being guilty or not has kind of changed. He's really, really angry at his wife, doesn't seem to care that she's dead at all. In fact, he says it's the solution. He's a little bit nuts.
Right, well, let's move on to the final interrogation now and see where you stand.
Sarah Gray.
So you're a dancer.
I'm a stripper.
I'm sorry about your sister.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
You weren't at the funeral.
No.
Your brother told me you haven't spoken for years.
Yeah, well, my brother's hardly likely to hang around the strip joint. Not my kind, at least.
Why? Your kind not got enough class.
My kind doesn't have enough cock.
Earlier, why did you run?
When a man in your uniform doesn't have a wad of 20s sticking out of his pants, he's not the kind of cop I want to have to deal with.
That's why you ran.
That's why I ran.
It's not because you killed your sister.
What?
You killed her. She was smart, educated, beautiful, successful. You're a whore. Dancing and stripping and sleeping your way to your next paycheck, your next fix. Been that way since you were a kid.
No.
You knew where she lived, no problem breaking in. And judging by the way you scar your arms, I doubt you had any problem cutting hers.
Fuck you! I loved my sister. When our foster parents died, I kept us together. Leah was the oldest. She was scared. I took care of them. The reason our foster parents never hit her is because I was the one who changed her sheets when she wet the bed. I slept around and I made money. You think they could have afforded college with the money their parents left them? No. They might not know it, but I do. I didn't kill my sister, detective. I would have died for her.
Do you think there's anything important there, anything of relevance for the case?
Again, I'm not too sure, but I really don't think Leah did it. She's remembering moments of their childhood, which I wouldn't say you would just like kind of make up, especially such traumatic moments. I don't know, her remorse seems really genuine, her sadness.
But what if it could be fake? Like, I mean, she probably is quite used to being a stripper, pretending to enjoy certain things.
Possibly, yes. But I don't know, she seems to be like, she just does it as a job, and I really do think she's really saddened at her sister's loss.
Right, well, Freya, we're almost at the end. Very soon you're going to have to choose your verdict. But before we do, I have someone here that wants to talk to you. It's Leah's sister, Sarah.
Hi.
So, Freya, here's the deal. You can ask Sarah any question you want. She will give a completely truthful answer. You just can't ask her if she killed Leah. So, Freya, earlier you came up with two questions you wanted to ask. Do you want to ask Sarah about Leah's diary entry, or about Sarah and who she thinks might be the killer and why?
I think I want you to tell me about who you think killed Leah.
Right, well, Sarah, if it wasn't you, who killed Leah and why?
Honestly, I don't know. I only met Heath once, and I didn't like him. Brandon kept following him like a puppy, and Leah seemed to like him, but he seemed to like his money, and that was that. And Brandon, well, as much as I might hate the guy, I don't think that could be him. We grew up together. I knew him. He was a very passionate person. He could kill for love, not for a promotion.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll be in touch. So, Freya, you've seen all the evidence, you've looked through the evidence, and you've gone to talk to one of the suspects yourself. Want to take a stab at who you think might be the killer?
Oh God. In my mind, I'm kind of split between the brother and the husband. Taking into account what the sister said, I'm kind of leaning towards Brandon. I really do think it was the brother, because also with what Sarah said, I think he might have been in love with her husband. I think he might have been gay.
So is Brandon your final answer?
Yes, yeah, I think it's Brandon.
Let's see if you're right.
We were in love once, but love doesn't always last. People change, and you can't always control them. In times like these, you adapt, you take control. Take control of whatever and whoever you can. It's what I did.
There are thousands of reasons people kill. Jealousy, power, money, love. I killed my sister. I killed Leah Gray.
So, Heath was the mastermind, but it was Brandon who killed Leah Gray. In his interrogation, Heath told the detective that of course he wanted Leah dead, otherwise she'd always have his money. In his letter to her, he hinted that if she didn't stop the divorce proceedings, he'd have to deal with things himself. He knew Brandon had feelings for him, and he decided to use those to his own advantage, just like he said. In her diary entry, Leah suspected that Heath was having an affair with someone in her family. He was, it just wasn't Sarah. Brandon said that he wouldn't kill his own sister over a job. He didn't. He killed her for Heath.
I knew it.
Well, Freya, it's been great having you here.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did.
I will see you next time, maybe.
Thanks very much.
Well, that's it for today. Join us next time with an all-new crime, all new suspects, and a new contestant, but with the same question: who done it? Thank you and good night.